Hi there once again, intermediate algebra students. It's time once again for another online lesson. This is the next to last lesson in our chapter. Today is 12.7 Mixed Expressions and Complex Fractions. Not too many slides here today, gang, but I will tell you these are some of the most tricky problems, mainly because there are so many steps in each one. Nothing really new to learn today. It's just trying to put several things together that we've talked about during this chapter. Alright, so first of all, two big ideas here, mixed expressions and complex fractions, as the title indicates. First of all, a mixed expression. Think of it like a mixed number in a sense, like 4 1/3 or 2 3/7. But now we have a number usually plus a rational expression. So the fraction now is one of these more strange ones that have variables as well as numbers in there. So what we're trying to do is simplify these things. The next slide will show you how to simplify this mixed expression. Alright, so first of all, got to get a marker that I think will show up here. We'll try this blue one. How do you like this gold background here? Now this is what we basically have as a fraction here, and of course when we add fractions we always want common denominators. So it looks like my common denominator here will be this x plus 7. So what I'm going to really have to do then is multiply 4 here by x plus 7 over x plus 7. Again, when I multiply a fraction over itself, it's equal to 1, so it doesn't change the value of anything. Remember, this 4 is 4 over 1, so that's perfectly legal. So it looks like what I'm going to end up with then is 4 times x plus 7, and then I still have this x minus 3 over here. That was part of the original problem, and I'm going to do just a little bit of a shortcut here. I'm going to write everything over x plus 7. After all, that was the whole reason we decided to do that, is so we could have a common denominator. Alright, well I'm almost done here then. All I'm going to do is distribute this 4 here, so we have 4 times x and 4 times 7, and so then what I end up with then is 4x plus 28 plus x minus 3. Once again, all of that is over the x plus 7, and I can simplify my numerator a little bit, putting together the like terms. So then I have 5x plus 25, all of that over, once again, x plus 7. So we have thus simplified our first mixed expression like this. Bit of a pain, but again, nothing too revolutionary. We've seen these ideas before, it's just putting them together in a different. Alright, the next big idea is a complex fraction. And as you can see, I have an example here that we're going to try to solve later. This is often termed as a fraction within a fraction. So we have the whole big fraction here, this numerator and this denominator, but then we have other fractions within them. Basically, we're going to try to simplify the numerator as best we can, the denominator as best we can, and then we'll use some of our rules that we have talked about before to see if we can simplify this whole rascal and see what we. Alright, so let's see, I'm going to try probably this kind of grayish color here, see what that looks like. Now, looking at my numerator here, I'd like to simplify that a little bit. It looks like my common denominator here, since I have an a and a b, will be both ab. So that's my denominator for my top part here. Now that means I'm going to have to multiply these by different things. If I look at this first fraction, I'm going to have to multiply that by b over b to get that denominator. Second one, I'm going to have to multiply by a over a. So what we have then, we'll have those denominators, and I'll end up then with b minus a, like that. And I can further simplify that. Then I'll just try to combine this into one fraction. Basically, I'll try to write it down here. So I'm going to end up with b minus a over ab. That's just my numerator all I've done with. Okay? Now let's try to work on the denominator part. Same type of thing here. I'll try to do that over here. Looks like again my common denominator will be AB. So again I'm going to multiply by this by B and this by B. Remember, when you multiply by a number over itself, doesn't change the overall value of anything. Multiply that by A over A. So I'll end up with B over AB plus A over AB. And I'm going to, remember that's my whole denominator there, so now I am going to write that all way down here. I'm going to try to combine it once again, so I'll have B plus A over AB. Alright, now comes the moment of truth here when I try to put all these together. Notice once again we have fractions, and we are doing some division here. When you see fractiony things, that is some division. And so really what I'm going to end up doing is multiplying by the reciprocal. This divided by this, I can now write this whole thing as B minus A over AB. That was my old numerator. Now I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal here. Again, remember the reciprocal is flipping those. So I'm going to multiply that by AB over B plus A. And maybe if I'm fortunate, I can do some canceling or reducing here. And sure enough, I can cancel out this AB and this AB. Notice I cannot cancel this B and this B, or this A and this A, because they are added or subtracted together. And I can't even use that multiplying by -1 trick because they're not completely opposites here as well. But this helps quite a bit, because now my final answer looks like it will be B minus A over B plus A. And that's really the best I can do in simplifying that. So that's definitely kind of tricky. And we'll be working on problems like this when we get to class tomorrow. But again, remember that two kind of new ideas, but the strategies, the techniques we're using are not new at all. They're ones that we have been using in this lesson. All right, sounds good. We'll see you guys in class tomorrow. Bye.